Hey, what is going on, my friends? It is noon, and it's time for our nooner. So, it's another fun conversation with one of our network leaders who's helping us launch one of the local chapters here in the Fort Worth marketplace. I am absolutely stoked and excited to bring on the badass herself, Miss Angie Monroe. Welcome to the party, my dear. Tell us who the heck you are.
Well, like you said, I'm Angie Lee Monroe. I am the Diva's Diva. So I am a Navy vet. I'm a serial volunteer. I'm a business owner with my husband as well as myself and a native Texan. So loving every minute of life around here. And then, recently I just became the president of the Successful Connections chapter here in the Dallas Fort Worth area.
Yeah, I'm so excited. When I reached out and said, "Hey, would you consider running one of these chapters?" and you immediately hopped on board, I knew it was going to be badassery that ensued from there because you are an absolute driven machine that I've always loved being around. I love your tenacity, I love your action taking, and I just love all the things that you're doing. So excited and happy to have you part of the family and team. So let's talk networking because that seems to be the theme that people really are geeking out on. So by definition, how do you define what networking is?
Well, I grew up here in the shadow of DFW Airport, so I think of networking like being an air traffic controller.
Mm.
I am one that people come to, they see, they call, they like, hey, do you know? And I always have a running list of people I know, who I can refer, who I can connect with. And I don't just put people out there that say, oh, yeah, I saw a van driving down the street the other day that had such and such plumbing on it. No, these are people that I know, I like, I trust. I've given them opportunities to do well, and I've given them opportunities to screw up. and so I'm really one of those people that have built a Rolodex of people that I'm connected to. So I like being that person that people come to and go, hey, do you know? And I go, why, yes, I do. No matter how random it is, I do know somebody that does that.
And I think the people that understand networking have that type of Rolodex, right? And for you youngsters, a Rolodex is the thing where you keep all everybody's contact information in. People give me hell every time I say Rolodex. I'm like, it's a Rolodex,
right?
But so for you on your journey, how have you been able to get all those type of connections? I mean, to be the person that gets the phone call that says, hey, do you know a roofer? Do you know a handyman? Do you know a plumber in your case? How do
sleep with one every night? Not all of those things, just the plumber.
Well, is plumber's crack a really thing? I mean,
my husband is so
he's
scrawny.
This big. Yeah, he's this big.
Around, so no, he's not. But for me, I was raised with the community mindset. My dad was a local police officer in our community, and so I take it back to the Easy Mart that we had. Easy Way that we had on Main Street and Highway 10 in our little town of Euless here, right? You could walk in there and there was either a flyer up on the bulletin board, or if you needed to know where the best plumber was or the best handyman was, you could ask at the butcher counter, right?
Right.
And so you always knew who had the connections and who was always talking with people and always connecting with people. And people would tell the butchers things like they tell bartenders things, right? So those are great people to ask and find out about others. And then the butcher, you're standing there asking about a handyman. Lo and behold, a handyman walks up next to you. You would have never known that handyman was next to you, but the butcher just made the connection for you.
Right.
Right. So I take it old school. I tell everybody, you can use all the modern technology. You can use all the finesse of Zoom and StreamYard and all the things, social media, but it goes back to relationships. I was taught to value relationships, get to know people, help them get what they want, and you can get everything you want.
Yeah, I love that. I love it. And it's the epitome of networking. I didn't know about the whole butcher stuff and all. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You learn something new every time you sit down with somebody. So that's awesome. So, Let's talk about the environment we're in right now. What are some of the biggest challenges people are facing when it comes to networking, connecting, and growing their businesses? What are some of the things you're seeing?
Well, first off, right now, a lot of people aren't even showing up. I mean,
Mm,
let's be real. How many haven't even dressed, maybe not showered in
mm,
a couple of days?
right?
I have showered. I will say that I used some dry shampoo before I came on just to get the sheen on my hair. but but the connections, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And you've got to be able to show up. You've got to be able to, in the dark times, in the rough times, when the rubber meets the road, this is where your business grows exponentially. When you have adversity, that's when your business grows exponentially. So right now, getting not knowing technology is a big hang up for people right now. So not knowing how to do Zoom or Skype or Facebook Lives, that's a big hang up. But you know what? Get over yourself.
Right?
Teach yourself a new trick. And then just not listening. I mean, unless you're a toilet paper distributor right now, nobody's really talking about your business. They're talking about coronavirus.
Right?
So, find a way to get out and help people. I'm encouraging people in our group to get out and promote the other businesses in our group on their next door neighbor app. Because
that's a great idea. Tell them really quick about Nextdoor and what you guys are doing, because that's a great thought.
Well, we have a Facebook group in our neighborhood for our neighborhood, but we also have the Nextdoor Neighbor app. So, in our group, we have C&T appliance repair. All these people are stuck at home right now. They can't go anywhere. They can't do anything, but their dishwasher's broken or their washing machine's broken. C&T can come out. They're still part of the essential force, just like plumbers are. They can come out and fix their washer and dryer. They can do all that stuff. So we can go out on our Nextdoor Neighbor app and tell everybody in our Nextdoor Neighbor group about C&T appliance. And, if I'm doing that in my neighborhood and I've got 30 other people in our group that are doing it in their neighborhood in our area, imagine the coverage we can get for C&T that's putting it right where people are looking at, on their phone, in social media, in their emails. So it's a great way to help out. Plus using Facebook.
I love it, except for us folks that live out in the country, we don't have neighbors. So I don't necessarily get that. When I did live in the suburbs, you found everything about the community there. So
right.
I kind of love that hack that I hadn't heard anybody else really utilizing it that way to do some connecting and networking. So good on you guys. I freaking love it.
Yeah. You mean your goats don't use Nextdoor Neighbor app?
They wish they could, except they'd probably eat my damn phone if I gave it to them.
Yeah, probably.
So what do you do for fun outside of work? I mean, when you're not changing lives, inspiring people to do more and helping them be the diva of their own life and running phenomenal networking groups and podcasts and everything else, and running another company doing plumbing and everything.
Right.
What do you do for fun?
Well, I have 2 grandchildren, so that's always fun and exhausting. But
are you Grandma Mimi? What is
I'm
it?
Diva.
Diva. Really?
Yeah, Diva is my grandma name. Yes, it is.
That's awesome.
And it's great listening to go Diva. But
does anybody ever look at you funny in the store when these grandbabies are walking by and they're like, Diva?
Well, they looked at me funny anyway, so that was a totally different thing.
True.
When we had a bunch of children that we helped grow up over the years that were of different, diverse backgrounds, and so me being called Mom, Diva.
You have a funny name for those children that weren't actually your kids.
They're my fake kids.
Your fake kids. That's what I couldn't remember what it was. I knew there was a name to it. I just couldn't remember what it was. So
right, they're my fake kids. The first one took me to school one day. I took him to school. He wasn't driving in kindergarten, and his teacher asked him, said, "Who's this with you?" And he says, "That's my fake mom." So every kid that came after him was fake kids. So
that's awesome.
But when we're not working, we're either traveling to see kids, we're going to the lake, we're hiking, we're at baseball games or concerts, which are not happening right now. So
I do like the videos I see of you, like, you missing sports right now, and people are doing like marble races. And,
right. My entertainment the other night was sitting in the garage with my feet up on the tire of my bike, eating an ice cream cone while watching my husband wash the truck. That was my entertainment the other night.
We at least got baby goats, and they're at least out running around.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, this is Bush television, at
Right.
its finest.
Yeah. Well, I've watched some of the NASCAR iRacing stuff. That's been kind of entertaining. At least,
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they've been doing the esports iRacing stuff, which has been kind of entertaining. This week they had a little bit of a controversy on there, so that
controversy in gaming racing. Watch out.
Yeah, somebody lost their job over the controversy. They said something over the airwaves they shouldn't have said, and got fired and lost sponsorships and lost. He made $9 million last year. He's not making that this year.
He won't make it this year. Whoops.
Yep.
Too funny. So what do you wish somebody would have told you about networking years ago? Well, that's like when you were first getting into it. What do you wish somebody would have said to you? Taught you?
It goes back to the same thing I learned when I worked in corporate America. Keep a ledger. In corporate America, I always kept a ledger of the money I saved the organizations I worked for. So when it came time for reviews and things like that, I could justify myself, right?
Right.
And so I'd save companies millions of dollars. I now, somebody says, well, why don't you do that for networking? And this was just about 5 years ago. They told me this. I'm like, because I was really getting burned out. How many times have you sat with somebody and they want to pick your brain and they want all this free stuff from you, but they never invest, they never convert, they never buy, and you're selling them. Now they may send other people to you. They may refer other people to you that buy, but then there's some that just never do anything because they're not in a position to grow or do anything. They just want an excuse to, an excuse library is what I call it. They want to build up a library of excuses, and they just want to know what mindset you have to share with them so they can build up an excuse for that mindset. That's the reason why they're not successful, right? But I started keeping a ledger when I meet with people. How much am I making? How much am I losing? Were they somebody that could deliver on what they're promising? Were they somebody that was over promising, under delivering? So I started keeping a ledger. And that helped me whenever I started having conflicts in my calendar for events that I wanted to go to. I could easily look at it and make it with a business sense, because the one that was over here that wasn't making me any money might actually be the more fun group to be at.
Right.
But this one over here is actually making me income, and I need to be there. And so it made it a business decision, not an emotional decision for me.
Oh, I love that. And all the years I've been networking, I've never heard that said by anybody before. And so good on you. That is something that you really know. So good on you. So you're heading up, successful connections there in the Euless Fort Worth area. Why should somebody join your group?
I'm fun, but I'm a diva. No, I mean, really, there's so many great groups to be a part of. There's so many things to do, but I'm one of those women that likes to stay on task. I'm one of those that likes to get in, get things done, move on to the next thing. But also, I want the relationships I build in this moment to trickle over into all the areas of the life that I have. I don't want people to come into our group just to be a talking head. I want people to come into our group that are willing to invest and get the ROI on their investment in the group. So if you're somebody that's not afraid to hang out with D personalities or DI personalities, which is what I am, you're one of those that is not wanting to hide out in the shadows. You're wanting to really exponentially grow your business. we've got some amazing people in there, and I am here to invest in everybody what I can and where I can to help them grow and be at their highest level of success.
No, I love that. I love that. And, you know, tell us a little bit about, just because I know a lot about it, tell us a little bit about your podcast. Tell us a little bit about, you know, some of the things you're doing in that space.
Well, I am also the founder. In addition to being a speaker and consultancy, you too can be a speaker and fumble your words.
I do it all the time.
I do it all the time. And people pay me for this.
Right. Hell, I totally messed up my own speech one time. So,
right.
I mean...
I've done that. I've actually started the speech over in the middle of the speech after giving it 4 days in a row. I was like, have we been here before? And they're like, yes, we have. I'm like, okay. Yeah, did you like it the first time?
Yeah, I totally messed up my own acronym. I was supposed to do the acronym RELAX, and I ended up doing REX. So a lot of people in the Success Champions group call me Rex now. So Rex. That's a thing. That's a thing.
It's better than XLAX.
Right?
But, you know, I have the Divas Impact Network. So on Tuesdays, we put our Warrior Divas podcast for real talk for real women. That's where I empower and equip women to be change agents in the world. And then I have my A Leading Moment show that is just going live. And it's to work with leaders, much like yourself, Donnie, much like others that are in this networking group. And we talk about how do you lead during crises? How do you lead when times are easy? Is it, you know, how do you not rest on your laurels?
Right.
You know, how do you keep that leader's edge in all the things you do? As you can see behind me, I have our magazine we put out with our Divas Impact stuff. We just have a lot of things going on, and every time I'm elevating up, I'm looking for people that want to elevate up with me to keep growing and keep reaching and going for the stars. I mean,
yeah, I love that. I love that, girl. I can tell you, you know, we haven't been friends for a very long time, but it has been a hell of a journey. I love watching the things you do. I love watching your growth. I love how you've inspired so many to do so much more with their life. And keep that up, because right now the world needs people like us that are out there being the light for other people. So keep going for it and keep going big.
I appreciate it.
Any parting words for people on networking and the likes? Any thoughts?
You know, I guess my biggest thing is now is the time to invest in yourself. If you're sitting at home and you've got time to watch TV, be on social media, and you're seeing the same post 6 times in a row when you're getting on social media, you've looked at social media enough. Get out, get a book. If you need a book recommendation, let me know. I got bukus of books back here behind me. If you need to chat to think through something that's going through your head, now's the time to pick up the phone and get in touch with somebody. Use this time to grow. I mean, we all have the opportunity to do it, and invest in yourself, time, money, energy, effort to grow. Don't just sit back and wait for somebody to spoon feed you, because they'll never spoon feed you success.
That's it. I love it. Well said. Well said. Well, guys, you heard it from Angie. Invest in yourself. Get out there. So, Success Champions Networking. We are now 12 chapters across the U.S. We're working on 2 in Europe right now. This thing is growing like wildfire. We just finished up our weekly training, which we do 10 a.m. Every Thursday in a private group called Becoming a Champion. That all comes with being a member of Success Champions Networking. So if you want more information, visit my website. Post it in the comments. It's also scrolled across the bottom of the screen. Angie, thank you so much for doing this, girl. I truly enjoy calling you friend. I've truly enjoyed the couple times we've had cocktails together. You know, just keep rocking. Guys, thank you for being awesome, being you. And keep going being badasses out there and enjoying life in this new crazy world we're in. Thank you, dear.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.